Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Ellie Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. And in this episode, it's the one that I think a lot of our long-time listeners have been waiting for.
I don't think they have.
Well, you know, I think it's pretty obvious that one of the best episodes we've ever done was when we discussed High School Musical, which I believe was your kind of first experience with the film.
Yeah.
And we're kind of, you know, we're revisiting old ground in that we're doing High School Musical 2, which you have seen before, and I've seen before, but we didn't really discuss last time, did we?
No, we were doing the first film.
Exactly. So this time we're doing the second one, and I think everyone's excited.
I don't think they are.
I'm excited.
But first, before we get to talking about that, we've got catching up with Ellie and Liam. So Liam, what have you been up to?
Well, it's just been busy. Busy.
Yeah? Been a busy boy?
Yeah, how'd you visit?
Yep, I came down last weekend.
Yeah. So we had a very special day, and then we had Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, so what was the special day, Liam? Why was it so special?
So, on the Saturday... Well, let's go through the weekend chronologically, shall we?
Oh, of course. Let's just lay out the whole weekend.
It started on Friday, didn't it?
It started on Friday.
Yeah, and you actually got down in, like, a surprisingly reasonable time.
I got out of work slightly early.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked. Because I was still getting ready, and you rocked up, and I was like, wasn't expecting that.
I mean, I wasn't that early. Like, seeing as the place was stopped serving food at 10.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing, right? When we're like, Ellie, can you get to us between 9 and 9:30? Between me and Kat, we know that's code for she'll be here at 9:30.
I'm not usually late to things. I'm usually on time. When I come down to you, it's just whenever I get out of work.
Yeah, exactly. So we were like 9:30, but no, I think you got here for like 9 bang on. So well done.
Thanks.
We went to Muchos Nachos. They're having problems.
Yeah. Well, this is devastating news that I've been told by Liam. The Muchos Nachos, the Mexican restaurant / pub near Liam is it
how do you say that? Is it hookah? Is that what it's called?
Oh, hookah bar.
Hookah bar, yeah, it's that as well.
Has it? Has it got hookah there?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What a mismatch of cultures.
Well, this is what you get when you live in the city.
It's a little bit like someone sort of looked around at your local area and went, what are the things missing here? Mexican restaurants, hookah bars, and pubs. They just merged it all into one.
It's brilliant. Yeah, so we went there, but just a slight... I mean, this isn't really going to be of interest to literally anyone, but the backstory to this is the people that own the property, they bought it, like, say, 2 years ago for about... I think the price that they bought it for was, like, £400,000.
Okay.
And then last year... So they own the property, but then you've got someone else that actually owns Muchos Nachos, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they're, like, renting the property, essentially. Last year, they tried to sell the property without informing the owners of Muchos Nachos.
Which is a weird move.
It's a bit, like, skeezy, I think.
Yeah.
So what happened is the community kind of rallied together, and they got Muchos Nachos listed as a community asset, because it was considered like a meeting hub and all that sort of thing. And honestly, without that, like, where'd you go?
I mean, no, honestly, that place is usually busy when we go there.
Yeah, exactly. So because it's listed as a community asset, what that means now is if the owner wants to resell, the community gets essentially like a first bid option, and the owner has decided that they do want to sell. They want to basically take down Muchos Nachos and turn it into property.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell it to the community, so they paid $400,000 for it. They're trying to sell it for $800,000.
Why?
Because I guess they're trying to make a well, I guess that
it cannot be worth that much.
No, so I guess right. Their plan is to make it so ludicrously expensive that the community can't afford it, and therefore they get to do what they want with that property.
I feel like that can't be legal.
I don't know. There are like people getting involved. There was a community meeting yesterday that I overslept and missed.
Yeah, Liam's one chance to live in his life as a movie, leading the charge to reclaim Muchos Nachos, and Liam fucking slept through it.
The reason why is because it was the first day since the Super Bowl that I didn't have to set an alarm. And I thought, oh, I'll be up before 11, and I wasn't.
Poor excuse, Liam.
I'm not saying it's a good excuse. I'm just giving you the facts of what happened.
Fair enough. So yeah, Muchos Nachos is going to close down thanks to Liam. So
yeah, basically, yeah.
No more Muchos Nachos stories.
No, that was it. But I mean, have we got any stories from this time? I mean, the waiter came over and he kind of clocked our drink orders, didn't he?
Yep, you guys are so well known there that he was like, "Oh, mojitos? Yep, got it. We'll go get them."
Perfect. That's what I like. Service
At the end,
with a smile.
the manager apologised because he was worried that a new member of staff might have been too slow with our table.
Yeah, and she was, you know, to
She
be
was
honest. Yeah, and yeah, I
didn't
liked
notice
her.
anything. Like
No.
I wasn't. There was no point where I was like, "Jesus, where's the food?"
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't really have any complaints. I had a great time. I had a lovely meal. I had good company. Had mojitos. What
Very
else
good.
do you want? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing,
Yeah,
right?
Liam, you're living the high life, mate.
Yeah, they're going to turn that into just like a housing development or like a block of flats or something. Who wants that?
The owners. So what happened on Saturday, Liam?
So on Saturday, it was just so special. Firstly,
Why was it so special? You
well-
keep teasing the listeners, Liam.
well, firstly, I want to thank you for coming down and just being a part of, you know, what for me probably one of my favourite days ever.
But why, Liam? Why was it your favourite day? What happened on Saturday?
We had a Zac Efron musical day
Why did we have a Zac Efron musical day, though, Liam?
to like belatedly celebrate my 30th birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I've got to thank you for coming and being part of it. I've also got to thank Kat because she made us some yum-yums to eat.
She did.
But yeah, I think you should describe kind of, because I couldn't, we stayed up quite late. Oh, we forgot something else that happened Friday night.
Oh my god. Should we save that for Ellie and Liam have watched stuff?
Nah, let's do that with catching up with.
Alright, fine. We got back from Muchos Nachos on Friday
Yeah.
and proceeded to watch Troll 1 and Troll 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, we watched both of them. Kat just about stayed awake for Troll 1 and then couldn't quite last through Troll 2.
Which is a shame, because if you're going to watch one of them, Troll 2's the one.
You say, I think I marginally prefer Troll.
Yeah, but I think the issue is that Troll 1 is... It falls into that. Neither film is good, right?
Yeah.
But Troll 2 is funny in that a lot of the acting is really poor.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like just weird things going on that
Yeah.
don't make sense. Whereas Troll 1 has that, but Troll 1 also tries. You can see that Troll 1 was like,
Oh, yeah.
be a fantasy film that's, you know, so I feel like
I
it let me
kind
down.
of feel like Troll 1, if you'd have discovered that film when you was like, say, 10 years old,
Yeah.
you'd actually probably quite enjoy it.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Troll 2, I don't think there's any age where you would enjoy that.
No, I can't imagine there is.
And so Troll 1 has Harry Potter in it.
Literally a character named Harry Potter.
Two characters. You've got Junior and Senior.
Oh, yeah, Harry Potter Jr. and Harry Potter.
Yeah. And the basic story is this new family move into like an apartment block. There's an evil troll there that takes over the little sister and basically wants to change the apartment block into a fantasy land.
Yeah, it's some weird... If he makes the whole apartment block Fantasyland, then that means that he'll have enough area for his fairy kingdom to take over the world.
Yeah. It's you know, when you put it like that, it doesn't sound great.
I mean, it isn't great, Liam.
But there is some good in it. Like I really like. Oh, what's his face?
Which one?
You know the one.
I mean, I like a lot of the characters in this.
Phil Fondacaro.
Which one's he?
He played Malcolm Mallory.
Is he the one that tells stories?
Yeah. And he's also, right, you might know him from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Who was he in Sabrina?
Roland.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I like how you asked that as if Sabrina the Teenage Witch is just like filled with little people.
Well, yeah. No, it's not that, Liam. It's that I've not watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch since I was about 10. So, like, I don't remember all the characters. So when you say Roland,
Yeah.
my brain's like, which one's Roland? And then I have to go through every episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch very quickly.
Well, the little person.
Okay.
See, right, I know that little person is like the correct way of saying it. It just sounds, to me, it sounds patronising.
Yeah, it does.
But, yeah, apparently that's what you meant to say.
Fair enough.
So yeah, he's my favourite in Troll. I think he's great.
Yeah, he's the highlight of the film, probably.
It also is notable for starring an incredibly young-looking Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Is she the witch?
No. She's the like one that turns into this kind of nymph creature.
Oh, yeah.
So people like we don't need to, you know. The American listeners will know this for sure, but for anyone else, she was really well known for Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you was aware of that.
I mean, we're talking so much about Troll 1, and it's annoying me. It's not a good film.
It's not bad.
No, but it's not good. That's what I mean. It's just an average film, and you're focusing so much on it.
Yeah, it's average.
I want to talk about the highlight of Friday night, Liam.
Muchos Nachos.
Troll 2.
Troll 2, yeah, right.
Troll 2 has sparked so many funny videos that are online that I now can understand properly.
Well, isn't that a part of the problem with it?
I mean, so there was the whole, like, I'm waiting for that one line.
Yeah, but the other thing is, I think all of the really, really bad bits you've probably seen online if you watch those clips.
It's mainly the like, they're eating her, now they're going to eat me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's such a bad film. I mean, one of the best things about the film is that Troll 2 and Troll 1 are in no way connected. Literally, there is no connection between the two films.
Yeah.
Troll 2 is all about goblins, not trolls.
Yeah. Who? Where do they live?
Nilbog.
That's right. Yeah.
See if you can figure that one out, listeners. It's a real puzzle there. They look different. They're not even the same costume as the troll.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. Like, it's honestly totally irrelevant to the first film. It's got nothing to do with it. And I don't... Clearly someone just was like, I'm going to make this film. And someone else was like, well, we ran Trolls, so do you want to tie it into the franchise?
But it's not even really tied in. It's
exactly.
Literally just a name.
No, they probably went, like, do you want to tie it into the franchise? And they went, oh, do I need to change anything? I went, nah.
Yeah. So can I, like... This happens fairly early on in the film. It's a very minor spoiler.
I think you can spoil Troll 2.
Yeah, I want to just give our listeners a kind of a glimpse into how insane this film is. And it's maybe not one of the more famous scenes, okay? So for the goblins to turn the people into goblins, they have to eat this weird food.
Yep.
And this family arrive in Nilbog, and they're doing like a house swap with a family that live in Nilbog.
Yeah.
And they've laid out this lovely spread for them. Now,
it just looks so delicious. Normal foods covered in green goo.
It does. The little kid, Joshua, his granddad died not too long ago, and he keeps seeing him and talking to him, and that's obviously concerning to the parents. And the granddad's kind of giving him a bit of a heads up about kind of, oh, don't let them eat the food. Bad things will happen. And the granddad somehow stops time for a minute to give Joshua a little moment to catch himself, have a little think, and try and figure out, right, how am I going to stop my family eating all this food?
Yeah. Joshua picks the only sensible way.
Yeah, I mean, he could just like pick the food up and throw it in the trash.
Yeah, he could. I mean, there's a lot of things he could do. He could pretend he's taking a bite and be like, "Oh my god, this is rancid."
Yeah.
But no, little Joshua decides, "I'm going to piss on it."
Yeah.
All of it. I'm just going to piss on all of it.
Yeah.
And he gets grounded. Yeah. Obviously.
So this leads to one of my favourite quotes that just kind of perfectly sums up how insane this film is. The dad is dragging Joshua to his room, and as they're kind of going along the hallway, all of the rooms have the family's names on. So the previous family have kind of put some thought into where everyone should stay. And the dad says, "Do you see this writing? Do you know what it means? Hospitality. And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it." Throws Joshua into the room. Is reaching for his belt, and you're like, wow, this is about to get dark. Like, I don't know where your head was at during that scene.
Oh yeah, no, I 100% was like, oh my god, this dad's about to beat the kid.
Yeah, if not worse.
Yeah.
And then Joshua says, "What are you going to do to me, Daddy?" Which is also just like, at that point, I'm like, oh, this is not going to be a pleasant film, is it?
No.
And then the dad responds, "Tightening my belt one loop so that I don't feel hunger pains, and your sister and mother will have to do likewise."
It's amazing. I mean, so
that's insane, right?
It's insane, and I just want to point out, so there's very obvious insanity in that scene. The pissing is just ridiculous. The whole quote of tightening the belt is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But just look a little bit deeper as well, and you can see that there was no thought going into this film, because who goes to a house share and doesn't bring their own food? Because they're surprised by the food. They're like, oh, they left us food. Like, they're shocked. So what were they going to do?
What do you mean?
So, well, they went to a house share, right?
Yeah.
They were not ready for there to be a laid out spread of food ready for them to eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means that they had gone to this house and they must have been ready to go and get dinner somewhere or buy some food.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, well, fine, I've now got to go buy some food, the dad says, I'm going to tighten my belt so I don't feel hunger pains, implying that he is not going to let the family get food that night.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That is.
Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They went there completely unprepared, completely. If the other family had not left out food, they'd have just been hungry.
Yeah, no.
So that's what I mean. There's no thought at all in this film. It's amazing.
No. So, and I think the reason why we wanted to watch Troll 2 is because we're both pretty big fans of The Room.
Yeah.
And like, so Troll 2 has a documentary about it called The Best Worst Movie.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Same, but I don't think it is the best worst movie.
It's not. The Room is obviously the best worst movie. I don't think anything could knock The Room off at this point.
No, like when you're talking about like sheer entertainment, I think The Room pretty much consistently delivers. Whereas Troll 2...
The Room is non-stop, and Troll 2 definitely has some gaps where you're like,
I'm
this
just a bit bored.
Funny. It's just boring. Yeah.
Like they try and do some plot stuff, and you know, where it mostly fails is probably the acting, I'd say.
Fails as in bad fails or good fails?
Like, for a film.
Oh, yeah. The acting is atrocious.
Yeah. But there's only like a couple of moments where the acting, or even the dialogue, like the script, are particularly like entertainingly bad.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just... It's average.
I think it's worth a watch just so you can experience the insanity.
Yeah,
but it's not like The Room where I'd be like, oh, let's just have a hilarious night where we watch Troll 2.
Exactly. So yeah, that was our Friday night. Then we had the Saturday.
Liam's birthday.
My
belated birthday party.
And so I want to ask you, because I couldn't sleep that night because I was just so excited. So I woke up early. Kat woke up relatively early.
I woke up at a normal time.
Well, and yeah, what did you see when you came down the stairs? Because things had changed. Things had changed.
Imagine that when you die, there's no chance of going to heaven. You know that you're going to be in hell. And picture, like, the worst thing you could walk in on. That is what I experienced Saturday morning.
So you walked in...
I blearily-eyed, walked downstairs.
Donald Trump fisting Theresa May.
I opened the door.
In the bum.
And I saw Zac Efron and the cast of High School Musical just everywhere, just surrounding me, all of them. And I also saw two of my friends put on Zac Efron masks, which looked like something out of, some sort of old, horrifying art that some dude made when he was drinking absinthe.
I think if I'd have still had like a video camera, we could have made a pretty cool, like, spooky little short with those masks.
Honestly, if a murderer wore one of them, like, that would be believable and scary.
Yeah. Like, we should have done one where it was like Kat coming downstairs and like maybe you in the kitchen wearing the mask, and she's like, "You're not Liam," and then you just turn around and it's the mask.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what you've just described basically sounds a bit like heaven. Yeah,
see, that's the thing, is that it is Liam's heaven, which is what happened for his birthday.
Because we had bunting up on the walls.
Yep.
High School Musical bunting. Different types. We had two different types. We had some from High School Musical 3.
Two different types of plates?
No, I think it was just the one type of plate, but it had two different designs on.
Okay.
We had two different table covers.
Yep.
We had napkins.
Two different types.
Yep. We had two different types of like plastic cups.
Yep.
We also had fridge magnets.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about the fridge magnets. Yep.
Yeah. We had cupcakes with Zac Efron's face on.
And a big old birthday cake with Zac Efron. Big old
birthday cake with a topless Zac Efron. And what did the birthday cake say?
Happy birthday, Liam.
Brilliant. It was so good.
Why is that the bit? What? Of course it said happy birthday, Liam.
Yeah. No, it might have just said happy birthday.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sure.
So, it was me. I'm Liam.
And thus commenced the horrifying day. It was actually quite good.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And you got me a present, of course.
I did buy you a present.
Yeah, do you want to explain what that was?
I bought Liam the first a box set of the first, I think it's first 4 books in the High School Musical book series that was made.
So reviews of those will be coming.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well, to be honest. I've just got to get through my current book I'm reading, which is Lauren Graham, Talking as Fast as I Can.
Fair enough.
About her life. So yeah, Zac Efron Musical Day. We watched 5 Zac Efron musical movies. We started with going to an IMAX showing of The Greatest Showman.
Incredible. Absolutely loved it.
It's just such a wonderful film. Then we watched High School Musical 1 sing-along version.
Yep.
You sang along?
Well, Liam had a thing where he wanted me and Kat to sing along with every song.
Yeah.
Which, as me and Kat pointed out to him, is... I don't know. Listeners, if you've done karaoke, you know that you still need to pick a song you know to do the karaoke. Like, you get the words, but you don't know the tune, so you can't sing along to a song unless you already know the tune,
Right,
and then you get the
here's
words.
my counterpoint to that.
No, I'm talking. Hey, it's not your birthday anymore, mate.
Well, it should be.
Shut your trap.
It should be. Yeah, carry on. Come on, make your point.
Yeah, so Liam then demanded that me and Kat sing every song.
Yeah.
We knew a few of them, and the ones I knew I sung along with,
Yeah.
but you cannot sing the songs you don't know.
Right, counterpoint to that. This was not new news that we were having this Zac Efron musical day, right?
Yeah.
I didn't just spring this on you. I said to you, we're having a Zac Efron musical day. So what I've been doing since, I think, last November is just listening non-stop to a Spotify playlist of all the High School Musical songs. So I was, like, primed and ready for the day. I mean, I already knew the songs, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
Counterpoint, you're a lying shit. You've known the songs for years.
But my point is, you and Kat could have done the same.
Yeah, no, we're good. We did what normal people do at a sing-along, which is sing along with the bits you know.
Well, I sang
I'm
along
not going to
all
learn
of
all the
them.
shit songs just so I can sing the good ones.
I sang along to all of them.
Yeah, you did.
It was brilliant.
It was okay.
Then we watched High School Musical 2, and we're going to talk about that later.
Yep, so we're going to save all our thoughts on that one.
Because we have thoughts, don't we?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then we did High School Musical 3 sing-along.
Which, at what point in the showings of these films did I start drinking? Was it in the second one?
No, it was the third one.
So depressing. Yeah, third one.
Yep. So you wanted to do a little drinking game, and I was like, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm having enough fun as it is that I don't need to incorporate like a gimmick. Just let me enjoy myself. So you and Kat did a little drinking game.
Kat did bail quite quickly on the drinking game when she realised how brutal the rules were.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one of the rules was every time you see a basketball, we very quickly had to establish that rule meant if there was a basketball in a scene once, you drunk once for that scene. Because there was a scene where like 50 basketballs rained from the ceiling.
Yeah.
I drunk a lot that film.
Yeah,
it got to about halfway through, I had to drop one of the rules because it was getting a bit ridiculous.
I think there was one that was like any time a character says another character's name or something.
No. It was every time they say Troy, Gabriella, or Sharpay.
Right, okay.
Which are the three like main characters that get talked about a lot.
There was one anytime Ryan isn't wearing a hat.
Which, surprisingly, in High School Musical 3 happens a lot. We thought it was a joke one because he always wears hats.
And the drinking rule said you had to chug when you see that as well.
Yeah, which is just insane. So we cut that down to like a big gulp.
Yeah. Anytime you saw the Wildcats colours, the red, white and gold.
Yep, which we had to take meaning the flag because the whole school is red, white and gold.
Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of... I kind of just let you guys get on with it and just sang along.
Yeah, Liam was being boring.
I was just having enough fun that I just didn't need to, like... I was enjoying the movie, and I didn't want to have to constantly be like, oh, should I be drinking now? Shouldn't I? I don't know. I just wanted to
I mean, you did that
enjoy.
anyway, because you kept trying to tell me to drink.
Well, you kept missing out rules.
I did not.
No.
You were pointing them out, and I was like, I've already drunk for that one. You're like 10 minutes too late.
And then, after High School Musical 3, senior year, Kat went to bed.
Yep.
And we watched the last Zac Efron musical, which I did warn you before we started watching it that it was a bit racial, but I don't think you quite believed me.
No, I did. I did. So we watched Hairspray, which I've never seen before. And, like, I didn't know anything about Hairspray. So Liam was like, oh, it's a bit racial. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. So, you know, it's going to have some of the, like, there's racism, blah, you know, they're going to try and figure it out. Jesus, the film's pretty fucking intense. Like, it's a really good film. But I didn't realise that the message, it was like... Because it's not... I thought it was going to be, like, High School Musical, but also they're trying to tackle a big issue.
Nah.
It's just a big issue that they're trying to... That the whole film is like, look, here's this huge problem back in those days.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. I really like the film.
It is good. It has John Travolta in it, playing a woman. I think in quite a impressive... Like, I know you said you was impressed by his ability to dance in heels.
Yeah, no, it's hugely impressive.
Yeah, and you had Christopher Walken, who played his husband. Her husband. I don't know the right terminology when it's a character actor thing.
She was a girl in the film, so her.
Yeah, yeah, but played John Travolta's husband.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. I always liked seeing Christopher Walken in movies.
Yeah, he's so good.
I had a theory that I think he has a clause in like all of his contracts, pretty much, that whatever movie he's in, he has to do a little dance at some point.
Yeah.
Because like it makes sense with Hairspray, but there are definitely there's movies I've watched with him in where he's just started dancing, and I'm like, I don't know why. I think the only one that immediately comes to mind that he doesn't dance in, I think, is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he's just great.
He is. He's just awesome.
And yeah, Zac Efron, he's in it, but he's not a main character, which is disappointing. But for a Zac Efron musical day, I think you do have to include Hairspray because he has songs.
Yeah, it made sense. It fit in.
Yeah. So, okay, if we leave High School Musical 2 out of this, where would you rank those films that you watched that day?
Greatest Showman.
At number 1?
Yep.
Okay.
Hairspray.
Okay.
High School Musical 3.
Yeah.
High School Musical 1.
That surprises me.
Why?
A lot of people think that High School Musical 3 is the worst of the trilogy. Now, I don't agree with them, but it seems to me like you're saying, it's potentially your favourite.
I think saying favourite is a bit of a stretch when we're talking about High School Musical, but yeah, sure.
But I think we can all agree it was a very special day.
High School Musical 1 has clearly the low budget one.
Well, yeah. It was a Disney Channel original,
is when they
wasn't
got
it?
given everything. High School Musical 3, they were like, here you go, take all the money, make a film.
Make a rotating hallway.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's brilliant.
Sure.
But yeah.
What's your ranking? Where would you put them?
Greatest Showman is at number 1, definitely.
Obviously.
Then it's the first High School Musical. Then it's High School Musical 3. And then it's Hairspray.
Okay.
But Hairspray is really good. But I just, I love my High School Musicals, don't I?
You do.
I obviously loved that day, but I'm curious, did you have a good time at least?
Yeah, it was a good day.
Good. Yeah, so thank you for being a part of it, and thanks to Kat for helping with it, and making cupcakes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Kat.
Yeah, and the only disappointment, I think, is I tried to organise an entertainer to come over and teach us. So I found online that there's this children's party host, and they do High School Musical themed party. They do like a load, but one of the themes is High School Musical, and they'll come over. They'll teach you the dance, so they kind of get all dressed up, and they do a couple of High School Musical themed games, and you get like prizes basically. Unfortunately, they were working on that day. I left it too late to book them in.
I just think it's funny that you thought that if that happened, me and Kat wouldn't leave. Because when you told us that, or when you told me that, I was like, I would have just walked out, mate. I don't want to be doing this with a stranger. And Kat was like, yeah, I'd have come with you. So you'd have just been left alone, and me and Kat would have gone and had a nice day.
But we could have learnt the dance.
I don't want to, not from a stranger. I'll do it in the privacy of your house, by myself.
Yeah, but the stranger would also be in the privacy of my house.
Yeah, but no, Liam, I don't think you understand. I know that you've got this like weird, incapable of understanding how humans work.
Yeah.
Because you're a robot from outer space.
Yeah.
But like, that's just weird.
I don't really get it, but okay.
Okay, that's fine.
And then
it didn't happen anyway, so it's all fine.
Then Sunday, so after the most magical, wonderful day ever, we had Sunday.
I had my most magical, wonderful day ever.
Well, we played board games first.
Board games are good.
We played High School Musical Mystery Date.
Not a great game.
Well, I need to contact Amazon, I've just remembered, because there were parts missing and the game was sold to me as new.
Yeah. Wasn't it sealed as well?
It was sealed. But
there were bits missing, which is weird.
Yeah. So something definitely dodgy is going on there, I think. But then we played Dinosaur Island.
Yeah, which was okay.
There's a lot of mechanics to it, and the juice isn't worth the squeeze, I don't think.
I do wonder if it would have been better if we'd played a long game, because we played the short game as like a let's learn this game.
Yeah.
I do wonder because I feel like if you're playing a long game, there's more time to like be planning stuff, because it felt like, I only ended the game with having built 2 dinosaurs.
Yeah. I think a medium or a long game would have been a good way to get a better feel for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not ruling it out immediately, but, like, first impressions...
Not amazing.
Not amazing, no. And then we played Mysterium.
Which was really fun.
I like that, which is odd, because I can't stand Dixit, and it's a pretty similar game style.
It is, but I think the difference is... So, basically, in Mysterium... Is it Mysterium?
Mysterium, yeah.
in Mysterium, one player is this ghost who's been murdered. The other players are psychics who are trying to solve the murder. And the idea is that each player gets randomly like given a character, a location, and an item that the ghost is trying to get them to pick out of 6 cards, for example. And the ghost can only do that. The ghost can't talk. They can only give the players cards out of their hand.
Art on them, basically.
So so you're literally like, if you're trying to get, for example, say that I was trying to get Liam to pick a scalpel.
Yeah.
Which was one of the ones, or a switchblade, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or like a shaving blade thing. I'd give him, swords. Any picture that had a sword in it, I was like, okay, there we go, swords. He's got swords. Liam will point out that there's blades in that. There's only one blade on the table. Liam will pick that. Of course, when you're playing with Liam, that doesn't happen. That's not how Liam works. So, he, of course, went for the fork, because swords, they're like knives. I'm not going to pick the knife. I'm going to pick the thing that's connected to knives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Liam got himself stuck when I had a little go at trying to get him to... It was very early on, before I'd remembered Liam's brain, sort of the way it works.
Yeah.
So I gave him some things that were...
gardening related.
Well, they all had art in them. They were all like someone had been drawing or writing in the sand. But Liam did notice that there was a lot of grass in the photos. So, of course, it was the gardener. And by gardener, Liam means explorer.
Yeah.
Because...
they had a little trowel.
Exactly. She had a trowel, so therefore it connects to gardening.
Yep.
It's difficult to play with Liam, but it is also a lot more fun.
It is. I think, like, I don't know about you, but I struggle with Dixit because I just don't really see the point of it. But Mysterium kind of sidesteps that by it gives you, like, a focus, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's a very clear goal to what you're doing and a time limit. I think that time limit really works for that game.
Yeah.
I was worried because I was like, it's only 7 turns. That is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it sort of forces you to have to play a bit more like, oh, fuck, I have to give them cards.
But we won both times.
We did. We were playing the easy mode.
Yeah, we had one where you were the ghost, and then we had one where I was the ghost.
Yeah, I did love Liam being a ghost is amazing.
Why is that?
I mean, what was the best one where you gave me it was a picture of a circus ring.
Yeah.
Pillows all around the outside as like a crowd.
Yeah.
And then a floating bed in the middle.
Yeah.
And me and Kat, because you're allowed, so the 2 psychics are allowed to talk to each other, and so you can sort of help each other. If one of you's like, really, I think I'm making this guess.
It's really off-putting as the ghost when you hear the 2 psychics talking and they're just like miles away, or it's even more off-putting when they kind of mention the thing that you want them to talk about, but they're like, nah, he wouldn't think that, nah, and you're like, oh, I would.
Yeah, I mean, I had that with you, and then me and Kat both had that when you were the ghost.
Yeah.
Because your brain doesn't make sense. Because what was it you were trying to point me to? A picture that had a chair in it.
Yeah.
There were 2 location cards that had chairs in them.
Yeah.
And Liam's idea of like the circus with pillows and a bed being a chair was he was like, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
That's so
but the other thing
unhelpful.
is, like, you say that there's 2 locations with chairs in. I don't see what the other locations are. So
that is fair.
That. So...
Yeah, you are trying to. It is difficult.
Yeah.
As the ghost, you do sort of see them. Basically, the first round you don't see them, but then because you're coming out to move the tokens around, you can sort of look and be like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But I very deliberately didn't because I thought might be cheating.
I think you're meant to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. But anyway, yeah, it's a really good game. If you've got a minimum of 3 players, I would honestly recommend you give it a try because it's so fun.
Yeah, I think you can play it with 2 players.
Oh, that's true. You can. I don't know how the 2-player one would go.
No, but yeah, it's. I think if you like Dixit, this is better. I would say. And if you don't like Dixit, this is brilliant.
Yeah,
just give it a go. Yeah. So yeah, Mysterium probably game of the day.
I think so. Yeah.
But High School Musical 3 Mystery Date was also up there.
Well, actually, Liam, you say game of the day.
Well, yeah, okay.
I think the game of the day, Liam.
Yeah.
Was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we stayed up stupidly late and watched the Super Bowl.
Woo! Super Bowl. Pats vs. Eagles.
Yeah, you got excited?
Well, no, I didn't. I was very bummed out about the Super. I don't know if listeners remember last year.
Remind them.
I was very upset because it was the 2nd year in a row that the Patriots had won a game.
You had a real little sulky fit last year when we were watching it
Personally,
together.
I didn't feel like they deserved it. They had been accused of cheating in the season before. Tom Brady is a moody piece of shit who always looks miserable. And, so they'd won 2 years in a row. And the first time they won in that little sort of winning spree, they had beaten my beloved Seahawks.
Yeah. That
So
was a
very
great game.
sad.
Great game.
We fucked that up. That was on us. Us
Yeah.
losing to the Patriots that year was entirely on the Seahawks. So,
Yeah.
fair enough. Then they beat the Atlanta Falcons, which...
That was an incredible game.
It was a good game, but I
was
felt like the
incredible.
Atlanta Falcons deserved the win because they'd been playing well for the entire game and then just fallen apart in the last quarter.
And the Patriots just absolutely dominated that last quarter and won.
Yeah, which was the sort of vibe that everyone was getting from this game. It felt very much like it's going to be the same. Eagles take an early lead. Patriots just sort of stick with them. They get ahead very slightly at one point, but they're sort of staying around the same thing. But then in the fourth quarter, where most teams start to fall apart against the Patriots, the Eagles had some of their best plays.
Yeah.
And it was a glorious game. And then the Patriots lost, and Tom Brady stormed off the field and didn't shake the quarterback's hand like a dick.
Yeah, but you was really happy.
Oh, I was so happy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't really have a team that I follow. I enjoy the game, but I'm not American, so I don't know how to pick a team,
You just pick one that you like.
Yeah, but I don't watch enough of it to have one that I like.
Well, the thing is, Liam, at this point, whilst you don't have a team, you have picked the Patriots 2 years running.
Yeah, but, well,
so you are a default Patriots fan.
3 years running, but that's only because I like picking the
3
team that you're not, that you haven't picked, because it makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I don't think Liam understands how sports works. He thinks you have to pick an opposing team to find the game interesting, which is weird, but whatever.
Well, no, because like last year when you was all sulky and stuff because the Patriots won, I was really happy.
Yeah, but you were happy because I was upset, which is mean.
Yeah. It's brilliant. That's sports.
So
that's
when the
how
Patriots
sports
lost
works.
this one, I turned round and was shouting a lot at Liam, who was very much like, I don't really care. And I was like, I know you don't, but I don't have any other Patriots fans to shout at, so I'm going to shout at you.
Yeah. I'm just going to, stick with the whole, whoever you are going with, I'm going against sort of thing.
That's fine.
But, so yeah, I was backing the Patriots. I thought they'd put it out the bag again. I really did. They didn't. I don't really care. It was a good game.
It was. And it was the Eagles' first Super Bowl win, which is, I think, quite cool.
Yeah, and Justin Timberlake did a halftime show, didn't he?
A little bit disappointing.
Yeah, wasn't great.
The audio was weird, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that was necessarily his fault or if it was our coverage.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm not blaming JT for the halftime show being bad, but that is something that factors. It's like if you go and see a festival and sometimes the speaker stacks go wrong.
Yeah.
I've had that with a few bands, like Paramore. The entire speaker system went down in their set.
Oh, that's a bit awkward.
Yeah. So, but they pulled it off because they then played acoustic songs for a little while and managed to get a speaker working so everyone could hear, and it was this really cool moment. But that still affects your enjoyment of that show, right?
Yeah. It's not the show that
no,
one
but
that they wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm not blaming JT, but the fact that the entire audio for that section seemed slightly muted.
Yeah, it was
weird.
odd. Yeah.
And then I don't know if I know enough Justin Timberlake songs to really I got a lot, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that from whenever.
Yeah. The other thing is, obviously watching it in the UK, we don't get all of the commercials, which is another big part of the day, I think.
Yeah. Some people go in just for the commercials.
Yeah, so it's always feels a bit like we're getting half of the experience.
I mean, I watched the commercials the next day. I went and saw the best ones.
Yeah, same. The Tide Pod ones were good.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't necessarily Tide Pod, was it? It was just Tide.
It was just Tide.
Yeah. But so when the Americans get commercials, we get this a couple of Brits and some other it's been the same 4 people every year that we've been watching it so far, I think.
They're so good. I love them.
And yeah, they kind of just provide a bit of context because they're aware that probably maybe not most, but a fair few people that are watching it maybe aren't fully aware of the rules and stuff.
And 2 of them are ex-professional football players. One of them's a what's it called? Not a commentator, but
Correspondent.
Something like that. He writes about the what's his face, the one that was always on the right.
Yeah. He's like a expert basically.
He's like a journalist or something that writes up about the games and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they're always mean to him, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Not even deliberately mean, just he'll say something. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, so the Patriots are doing this," and he's like, "Actually, I think the Patriots are doing this, and I don't think they're going to win." And then everyone's like, "Yeah, fine."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, it's great. I do enjoy those guys, but I would also like to see the commercials.
Yeah, but I think it's good, especially for you and Kat, who I don't watch a whole lot more than you, but I watch it occasionally and I sort of know what's going on.
Yeah.
I imagine having them sort of being like, look, here's what you just saw and why it's interesting.
Yeah. It does help.
I imagine that is... Because that definitely helped me when I started watching, having them be like, here's what that was.
I think I've got a good handle on most of the general gist of it now. There's just like certain plays and stuff where it's nice to have a bit of context around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that weekend, really.
Yeah.
Then
45 minutes of this show.
Yeah, we got to bed at, I think, like 4:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And I had to be up for work the next day at like 9:30, so that was a struggle.
I had to get up at... I think I got up at 10 in the end.
Yeah.
And got straight in my car and drove home.
Yeah.
To go into work.
Yeah. I think that might be why I overslept for this town meeting yesterday, because I was still kind of catching up on sleep.
Yeah. I think in the future I'm definitely going to try and properly book that day off.
Yeah, that's probably smart.
Yeah.
I mean, I had been really smart in that I'd moved all of my meetings to the afternoon, so I wouldn't have to get up early. And then someone came and booked a meeting in for 10 a.m. that I just couldn't not do.
Yeah.
So, such is life at the end of the day.
Such is life.
It was a good weekend, and I think it was worth it.
It was.
That's been catching up, I think, unless there's anything else you've been up to.
No, that's all.
Perfect. So, we didn't actually get any correspondence, but I know that the last episode, I didn't get to do any of my film reviews because I hadn't been to the cinema. And I think the audience was just too outraged to write in.
Yeah, you don't think it's that no one gives a shit about that section?
No. I think they were like fucking livid.
Got you.
And I think, right, if just between me and you, if I'm gonna kind of lay my cards on the table, I think like our regular listeners didn't want to burn some bridges with us.
Right, of course.
I think if they'd have written in with their like unbridled fury, they know that they're doing consequences.
Yeah, so you think that that's why they didn't?
They just sort of they silently seethed.
Okay, it's definitely not that no one cares about that section.
No. I went to cinema this week.
What did you see, Liam?
Well, so we obviously saw Greatest Showman, but we've already talked about that, so moving on.
Yep.
I saw I, Tonya.
Which one's that? That rings a bell.
It's the one with Margot Robbie in it.
Yep.
And she's a figure skater.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's a biopic based on Tonya Harding. And in like the 90s Winter Olympics, there was some controversy when one of her like main rivals got involved in a accident, and I'm using like quotation marks around that.
Yeah.
And people blame Tonya Harding for orchestrating that accident, which was basically someone, I think, smashed her kneecaps in.
I think, is this referenced in another film?
I don't know.
Because I know that story and I feel like I've seen it in a film before.
Possibly.
I don't know. But yeah, anyway, carry on.
So yeah, I, Tonya is basically like a biopic of Tonya Harding's life. Tonya Harding played by Margot Robbie. They have like this narrative device that I quite like, where they have interviews with the camera. So I think The Office kind of made that a popular technique to use, where you'd get people just talking to the camera, and it's like it's a real easy shorthand to kind of get into a character's headspace. And I liked that they did that, and the framing device of the film is you have interviews from Tonya Harding and interviews from her ex-husband, who's played by Sebastian Stan, who you'll know him from the Marvel movies because he plays Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
So he plays Jeff Galooly, and it kind of tells you at the very beginning, this film is put together based on interviews with these two, and their interviews do conflict. Okay,
that's what I was going to ask. So is the film like do we know do we know what the actual truth? Did she actually do it?
I think the film definitely leans towards being quite sympathetic to her.
Okay.
And it portrays her as not really knowing what was going on, and Jeff Galooly kind of more being the one that orchestrates it, because he was obviously with her at the time and all that sort of stuff. But they are unreliable narrators.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a kind of what's the word, like room for interpretation in there. You've also got Alison Janney, who plays her mum, and she's really good. I think she maybe won a Golden Globe for that performance, and totally understandable. But yeah, the other good thing, the soundtrack, kind of it uses just amazing music throughout. So that's all of the good things. Less good. So obviously the big move that Tonya Harding was kind of known for was this thing called a triple axel, And the film explains exactly what that means within the context of figure skating. There's basically just a handful of people in the world that can actually pull that move off, and I think 2 of them were training for the Winter Olympics, so they got someone else to perform it, and then they CGI'd Margot Robbie's face onto that person.
Yep.
CGI doesn't look great.
Oh.
It's a bit uncanny valley.
Yeah, got you.
And I don't understand what it is with movies, particularly in the last year, where they just seem to go, CGI isn't great, but let's just live with it. Justice League, right? I can forgive I, Tonya, because it was probably on a much lower budget, but it made me think of Justice League and how movies just seem to be letting really shoddy CGI slip by for some reason.
Well, I guess the argument would be, and I don't know if this is true, this is just my sort of guess.
Yeah.
Is that we're at a point where some stuff can look realistic.
Yeah.
But other things are more difficult to do. And those things that are difficult to do, there's not a better way of doing. So, it's not the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park where it was okay, well, our animatronics are going to look better. You couldn't animatronic Margot Robbie.
No.
On doing a triple
axel. Yeah.
Spin kick.
Yeah, sure.
So, that would be my guess, is that there's not another option for them to do. And sometimes it's it's obviously CGI, but we have to take it.
Let me give you this as an alternative. What if, instead of doing a close-up of her, because the way they do it is they do a big slow motion shot, and it's it's a mid-body shot, so you can see basically from the waist up, right?
Yep.
Why not just do a long shot and not slow-mo? Because then you wouldn't really see the face.
Yeah, but I guess there's a reason for it.
I don't know. I just feel in this day and age, if the CGI isn't good enough, do something else. Because bad CGI is so noticeable nowadays.
I agree to a certain extent, but I do think there are some things that you cannot do a different way. I'm not necessarily saying the ice skating thing.
Yeah. I mean,
in those cases, I'd rather they did it and just went, fuck it, we need that scene, we just can't do it a different way.
Yeah.
Than drop whole bits out of films because the CGI looks bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm making quite a big deal out of this. There's literally just a couple of instances where the CGI just looks a bit bad. It's not a huge deal. No, it's just a shame. It's
fair enough, because that does, in films, I find that distracting when something looks... some of the scenes in Greatest Showman, there's a couple of times where...
Oh, the animals don't look particularly
The animals
great.
are a bit weird. And Zendaya doing when she does the spinning around the ring, there's a bit where, they're getting a face shot, and I was like, this looks a bit weird.
Okay. The only other negative I have for I, Tonya, is... So you know how I was saying they had that device where you had the characters talking to the camera? Yeah. They also... So they use that to kind of set up the scene that you're about to see, essentially, and then you'll see a bit of her life and stuff, and it's all acting and wonderful. But they kind of break the fourth wall during the story moments.
Okay.
And
how do you mean?
So, you'll have the narrator who will say something, then you'll cut to a part of the actual story. So the narrator will be that's when he hit me. Cuts to shot of him hitting her, and then she'll say something to the camera and break the fourth wall in that shot.
Oh, okay.
I feel you don't need that fourth wall breaking when you've already got the voiceover and that whole device that they're using. It just didn't quite work for me. It felt a bit out of place, and
yeah, I get what you mean. That makes sense.
Yeah, but overall, I thought it was enjoyable. It's not. I don't think it's gonna. Performances aside, I don't think it's gonna be one of those movies that's gonna be talked about for Oscar contention. The performances are really good. They could be Oscar worthy, but the actual film itself, it's not a Best Picture winner, I don't think. It's 3.5 out of 5.
Fair enough.
That's all that I saw at the cinema this week.
I haven't seen anything at the cinema, Liam, but I have been watching Altered Carbon on Netflix.
Oh, so that's I remember seeing the trailer for that and being oh yeah, that's basically made for Ellie.
Little did you know, Liam, it's based on a book that I read.
Have you reviewed that book on the podcast?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Oh, that's a shame.
I think it was just before we started doing book reviews.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And a long time before you killed book reviews.
No, what didn't you have a solution to that?
Altered Carbon is based on a book called Altered Carbon, which I love. It's a proper good cyberpunky book. And so that already, immediately, I was like, I'm worried, because book adaptions tend to struggle. I'd say that the majority of book adaptions struggle. Is that fair? There's stuff like Harry Potter, which obviously
hit and miss,
is amazing in film form.
Hit and miss.
Okay, fine. But yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. I love it. It's really good. And from what I remember of the book, it's pretty true to it.
Wait, sorry, I just need to just wind backwards a little bit. When you say book adaptations fail, do you mean that's when you compare them to the book?
Yeah.
Right, got you. Yeah. Because a lot of like book adaptations, I think do an okay job. They're normally entertaining enough, but like they just don't live up to how good the book is.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, got you.
Which is in some of those cases, like I feel like maybe not this one because this one's had a lot of advertising, like there are billboards over London and stuff. But
yeah,
for a lot of film, like for a lot of book adaptations, I feel like your target audience are the people that know the book, at least as your like start point.
Yeah.
You're like, we're doing this thing that you love, watch it, and then that sort of spreads. But this has sort of not done that, I don't think. They've not made a big deal out of it being a book. Okay. But yeah, it's honestly, it's a really good cyberpunky sci-fi story with a bit of murder mystery thrown in, and it's just awesome. I'm really enjoying it. I'm only like halfway through the season, and so far I love it.
What's it about?
So it's set in the future where everyone has this chip in the back of their neck.
Okay.
It's like a big chip thing. And you can upload and download your like consciousness, who you are, into different ones. So effectively your body stops being your body and becomes something called a sleeve.
Like a computer chip.
Yeah, effectively.
Yeah.
And basically, so instead of people having to like travel through space to get to all these distant planets, you just needle cast yourself into a different body, which tends to be like when criminals get put in jail, instead of being put in jail, they get saved into a system. And their body becomes just a free-to-use sleeve.
Right, okay.
So, like, the main character in this series is a guy who is not in his original body. And it's all about him being hired. He's been in prison for 250 years, so wakes up 250 years later with no idea what's happened.
Yeah.
And he's hired by one of the super rich, like, billionaires of the future to solve the murder of that man.
Wait, of the billionaire man?
Yeah, so the billionaire's like, I want you to solve my murder.
How does he know he's been murdered?
Because there's a blood splatter on his wall, he doesn't remember the last 48 hours, and he's basically the filthy rich can like save backups of themselves every 48 hours.
Okay.
If you're poor and you get your stack blown up, that's the bit you download into. That's real death. If your stack dies, you die.
Right.
But these billionaires have backups and saves. So someone killed him, destroyed his stack, which means he lost all the time since he last backed up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you to solve who did this to me.
Does the show do a good job of explaining all this for someone that isn't massively adept in sci-fi stuff?
Yeah, better than I'm doing, because you know what I'm like. I really struggle to explain stuff.
Yeah.
But it makes it very obvious, like how this stuff works, and it's spread out over episodes. Like you learn these little bits as you go, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they explain like the uploading and downloading. Then in like another episode, you start to learn about and that's how we travel to different planets and this sort of stuff.
It's not just information overload in the first episode.
No, it's very spread out and easy to digest.
Cool, okay.
And they don't like fixate on it. That's not like the big thing.
Yeah. Are there any like famous people in it that our listeners might know?
James Purefoy?
I don't know who that is.
He was in a TV show called The Following where he played a serial killer.
Oh, okay.
He's a good actor. I really like him.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else in it that I'm aware of. And I'm looking at these names and I don't particularly recognise them.
Joel Kinnaman is in Suicide Squad.
Who did he play in Suicide Squad?
Rick Flag.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I'm literally just looking at the IMDb list, right?
Yeah.
And you got Joel Kinnaman playing someone called Takeshi Kovacs.
Yep.
Do they explain that?
Kovacs. Yeah. So that, like I said, he's a sleeve. So it's someone else's personality inside a different body.
Right. So it's not like another one of those, like, you know, there's a big news story recently about Hollywood whitewashing.
No, and they don't whitewash the fact that his character is an Asian guy.
Okay, that's good.
Well, he's technically so Takeshi is a Japanese name, I think, and Kovac is Polish.
Right. Okay.
So his character is a half Polish, half Japanese dude.
Cool.
But and you have a lot of scenes that are about his past, so you're seeing the original body of Takeshi Kovacs.
Right. Okay.
I personally don't think it's whitewashing because it's in this fictitious world and it makes sense.
Yeah. No, I just wondered because that was obviously quite a hot topic, but it seems to have that seems to have kind of almost died down a little bit while the whole like Me Too movement and like the women are kind of rising up at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is also good. I don't want that to sound dismissive.
You're just digging that hole, Liam.
Yeah, I okay, so what I'm trying to say is
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like the whole Me Too thing is good, but I don't want to also lose focus on, you know, the Oscars So White movement as well. Both need to be addressed.
Yes.
There we go. Oh god, I got myself out of that eventually.
You did, Liam. Good job.
Fucking
But yeah,
hell.
so far I've not finished the season, but I'd give it like a 4 out of 5 at the moment.
Okay. How much of it have you got left?
I think 4 episodes.
Okay, it's 10 episodes in total.
Yeah, so I think I'm on episode. I think I just watched episode 6.
Cool. And this is definitely, I think, if anyone is like a regular listener, this is 100% like an Ellie pick.
I mean, judging by the response I've seen on the internet, not necessarily.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're judging it based on the fact that it's sci-fi and stuff, but I would honestly give it a try because it's the sci-fi part of it. Even though it is such a big part because it's the setting, it's not like a focus as far as I can fit. It's not like my usual like, oh, fucking space lasers everywhere.
Yeah, because
it's a very like like the proper cyberpunky.
Let me ask you this:
murdery mystery thing.
Would Kat like it?
I'd guess so because I think it's a genuinely good show.
Alright.
I think it's worth trying, Liam.
Okay, yeah, I'm not dismissing it. It's just I know Kat's a bloody nightmare with this sort of thing, and once sci-fi gets involved, oh dear.
Well, that's a shit reason to not like something. Is just because it's part of a genre, like how
Yeah.
I watched My Sister's Sister, Liam.
I know, right?
When I did that for you.
I have no issues with sci-fi. It's watching
Give it a
this
try
with
then,
Kat.
mate.
Yeah, but I've got Kat.
Just watch it.
She's a
Just
nightmare.
Get Kat to give it a try.
It's a pain in the arse.
You're a pain in the ass.
That's
What have you
also
been
true.
doing? Anything else?
Yeah, I watched a couple of TV shows.
Were they good?
Yeah, I took Kat all the way back to the mid 2000s, 2005, and rewatched the first season of Prison Break.
I've never watched Prison Break, and I don't plan to.
You know what? Because it's one of those like Fox shows, like 24, and I remember 24 is just, it has this like device that me and Kat call silly spanners, where they just throw these silly spanners in, and everything just gets crazy and ridiculous.
Okay.
And I kind of remember like Prison Break having a fair few of those because I watched it when it first came out, and I've been itching to rewatch it for some reason, and it honestly holds up really well. It was just
I remember
super
a lot of people
entertaining.
liking Prison Break when it was on.
Like the whole premise is essentially a silly spanner in that, so you got two brothers. One of the brother is on death row. The other brother just happened to design the prison that his brother is in.
Of course.
Gets the designs like tattooed onto his body in this weird like masked art form, okay?
Yeah.
So only he can kind of decipher it. Then he gets himself imprisoned to try and break his brother out because his brother is innocent and is being framed. It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is just ludicrously entertaining. Like Kat loves her prison stuff anyway, so I knew I was onto a winner with this. But it is, we're watching the second season at the moment. I won't talk about that yet. Just the first season alone, super entertaining. I would say it maybe takes a couple of episodes to find its feet.
Yeah.
But I just, even though I'd seen it before, like I watched this, what we're talking 13 years ago now, so my memory was fuzzy at best. And it held up really well. I'd give it 4 out of 5.
Fair enough. That's decent.
Yeah. And then I've also watched the first 2 seasons of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep, I have seen both of them.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that I always hear like amazing things about, and you know me, I love my comedy. And I tried to watch it before, I just couldn't get into it. This time, I found I was laughing a bit more at it, but I'm just judging on the first 2 seasons, I'm not quite getting it, I don't think.
So I think, personally, It's Always Sunny, one of the worst seasons is season 1.
Okay.
I think it's the kind of show where they figure out what they're doing as they do it, sort of thing. So like it slowly gets better and better as they're like, oh, okay. Because the first season, like one of the main characters is missing because they're like Danny DeVito as Frank.
Yeah, he gets introduced in season 2, like episode 1.
Yeah, so they were like, so they've got this whole season without this character that now in It's Always Sunny is just core to the show.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the main 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think It's Always Sunny was finding its feet for
main 5.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think It's Always Sunny was finding its feet for a lot of its start.
You say that, but I very, very marginally preferred season 1 to season 2.
Well, keep going. It might be that season 3 gets better. It's been a long time since I watched the first seasons of it.
I'm halfway through season 3 at the moment, and I'm still not quite... Like, it's absolutely fine. Like, for the season 1 and 2, I would give 3 out of 5. Absolutely fine. But I hear so much good stuff about it, and I'm just like... I'm kind of waiting for the penny to drop, because I know with comedy shows and stuff like this, like Arrested Development, for example, it takes a few episodes to get into the swing of it. And I'm confident that there's a reason why everyone goes so crazy for it. I just kind of, I'm hoping
maybe
that I
again,
get there
Liam,
soon.
I think the thing to remember with you is that you are different.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you've not found it by now, partway through season 3, I don't know if you're ever going to find it. Because this is the thing. You've got to remember that other people don't think the same way you do about stuff. So it might be that everyone else loves It's Always Sunny and you don't, and that's fine.
That is what, but I think generally when there is that sort of, when it is like that, I at least can see why people love it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you haven't found that by season 3...
Yeah, but they're
definitely
quite
not...
short seasons as well. Like, season 1 is only like 6 episodes, I think. And season 2 is a bit longer. It's 10 episodes. But, when we're talking like 22-minute shows, it's not a whole lot of time.
No, that's true. But I mean, like, I think other people by season 3 had decided they liked the show.
It's okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but okay, so what I'm saying is it's okay. I'm hoping that I'll see why everyone considers it as being great.
It could also be, and this is a fair point, I think, the sort of premise of It's Always Sunny is that you're following, like, bad characters, like, they're not nice people, right?
Yeah.
That's sort of the point, is you're watching these not nice people do shitty things and sort of sometimes get their comeuppance when something goes wrong for them, but a lot of the time they just land on their feet and just carry on.
Well, yeah.
Is it possible that you are such a bad person that you just don't get it? Because you're like, well, yeah, obviously.
That is possible. That is possible, yeah.
Sorry, that was mean.
It is mean, and I'm pleased that you're noticing when you're being mean. But my hope is that the listeners also notice.
I just wish that you'd notice when you were mean.
Never mean. Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
We've had some tweets, haven't we? The Twitter. Oh, blowing up.
I mean, this is probably the most talked about episode, Liam.
Yeah, probably. You posted a picture.
Yeah.
So if anyone was wondering, like, how before we were describing the decorations and stuff?
Yeah.
You kind of captured some of it. I think you did a brilliant job, but you captured some of it for Twitter.
Thanks.
Jason, friend of the show, he's been on. Listen to his episode. It was good. He tweeted you saying, "Are you having a Efron-o-thon?" We're going to overlook the fact that you spelled Efron wrong.
We all spelled Efron wrong, except you.
When did you spell it wrong?
I distinctly remember you telling me that I'd spelled Efron wrong.
I don't see you spelling it wrong at all.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so you responded saying, "Yep, it's going to be hell, Jason. Please send help." And then he responded, "This is the best I can do." And it was just like a lovely gif of Zac Efron doing a little like kiss to the camera. And I just responded with a load of heart eye emojis, naturally.
Of course you did.
You also tweeted saying, "Of course it's the sing-along version. Why wouldn't it be the sing-along version?"
Yep.
I mean, I don't know why you tweeted that. Like, I don't understand. You knew what you were getting into.
It's fine. You wouldn't understand. Carry on.
You also did a tweet saying, "This probably sums up my feelings," and it's a gif from Get Your Head in the Game, where Zac Efron sings, "Why am I feeling so wrong?"
Yep.
And that started a whole Twitter thing, didn't it?
I mean, the gifs have been strong this week.
Yeah, you tweeted without a gif saying, "I just have to stick to the status quo."
That was in response to something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I responded saying, "Is it because your head's in the game but your heart's in the song?"
Yeah, got you.
Oh yeah, so I tweeted on Friday because we were going to record on Friday but we didn't. Saying, "Tonight we will be recording our thoughts on the Disney Channel classic High School Musical 2. I know you all have thoughts and feelings about this cinematic gem, so don't be shy. Tweet or email us." Atlantic Screen Connection, Lee, responded, "Ha ha ha ha, of course yous are. Never watched the whole way through, but little sister used to have it on repeat, so I know all the songs via osmosis. The further I get away from teenage years, the less resistant I am to their wiles, and I'm pretty sure that's a bad thing."
Yeah.
I disagreed. I said, "Embrace it, Lee. It's an excellent thing." And then a gif of Sharpay saying, "I want more." That's when you got involved with your tweet about summing up your feelings, saying, "Why am I feeling so wrong?" I said, "Is it because your head's in the game, your heart's in the song?" You said, "I just have to stick to the status quo." Sophie Jade got involved, said, "And bop to the top, my friend." And then the gif started.
Yeah, then the gifs did start.
Yeah. Lee, "Come on, guys. We got to work this out. Oh, my God, what have you done to me?" And a gif from that song. I responded, "Fabulous," with another gif.
Yeah.
Sophie Jade, "Don't forget it's National Pizza Day." And
I think this gif gets my vote as best gif of the chain.
Oh, it's my favourite gif that exists.
Zac Efron in one
Singing,
of the songs.
bet on it.
Just animated a slice of pizza going into his mouth.
Yeah, brilliant. And then SFJ said, great, I am literally singing all the songs now, fuck my life. We had Fiona Underhill responded saying the best, talk about High School Musical 2 specifically. I'll save that, actually, for when we talk about it.
Yeah, but we did then have another chain of gifts, which was just so many. If anyone wants to go see these and just bask in the glory, go onto the Nerd on Nerd channel. I'm sure you can find it there.
Yeah, let's just go look, basically.
Yeah, it's impressive. Also, it does have Sophie ending one of those chains with another one of my favourite gifts, which is the coach from High School Musical running down the aisle shouting, "What the heck are those two doing in a tree?"
Oh, that's so good, isn't it?
Yeah. What the heck are those two doing in a tree?
Yeah, the delivery is brilliant. Now, this is the thing about High School Musical, right? I think it's so easy to be a bit sniffy and standoffish about it and a little bit like, oh, I'm better than that. But if you just give it a chance...
Would you want to save this for us talking? Are we just going into Culture Swap now? What's happening?
No, I'm talking about the trilogy overall.
Okay,
I'm just saying, if you just give it a chance, which, to your credit, you have done, I think you can agree that there's gold to be found in those films.
There is.
Culture Swap.
Well, whoa, housekeeping, Liam.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Sorry.
You arsehole.
Yeah.
I read, listeners,
Yeah.
The Wicked and the Divine. I carried on reading up till the Imperial Age, which is a different set, which I've not got to yet. It's really good. Keep reading it. Liam, I don't give a shit what you think. You won't ever read them, so it doesn't matter. Listeners, if you liked The Wicked and the Divine Volume 1, you'll love the others.
What if you didn't like Volume 1?
Just don't worry about it.
But does it get better, different at all?
Well, it follows the same story, so...
So if you didn't like it, it's more of the same.
I don't know. Well, I don't know, because I did like it. So I find it difficult to be like... I love the first one. Does the second one get better? I don't know. I still love the second one.
But is it better?
I don't know. I read them all back to back, so I've got no fucking idea.
Right. Well,
it was just merged into one beautiful story.
Doesn't help, does it? So which volumes have you read now?
1, 2, 3, 4, and possibly 5. I can't remember if the Imperial Age starts at 6 or 5.
Are you going to carry on with the Imperial Age?
I will do, yeah.
Cool. Culture Swap.
Swap my culture.
Very good. What did we do?
Yeah, really? Liam, this time we did High School Musical 2.
Fantastic. Why did we do it?
Because it was your birthday and you're a little bitch.
I mean, that's just uncalled for, isn't it?
That was really mean. I don't know why I said it. I'm so sorry.
This is the shit I got to put up with.
Liam, we did High School Musical 2, and we did it because it was your birthday. And what more of a treat could Liam ask for?
That was a better attempt, definitely. And I'm saying that to make it hard for you to cut out the first attempt, where you were mean.
Cut out the first attempt anyway.
You were mean. You were really mean, and you said I was a little bitch.
I did say that.
Yeah.
How do you want to do this, Liam?
What's the story? Give me a brief plot synopsis, or shall I do it?
I can do it.
Do you know?
And then you can do a better one.
All right, cool.
Zac Efron.
Who plays?
Troy.
Yeah.
Bolton.
Yeah.
We've just finished High School Musical 1.
Yeah.
We go straight into summer holiday.
Yeah.
They all go to the same place for their summer job.
We just have to be clear. Some time has passed between High School Musical 1 and 2.
How long? Do we know how long?
Well, okay, so High School Musical 1 obviously starts off on New Year's Eve, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And they're all kind of auditioning and getting ready for the spring musicale.
Yeah, so it's only going to be like a couple of months, Liam.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't go straight into it. There's like...
We did.
Yeah,
anyway.
We did, but the story...
Fine, Liam. The story's got like a month in between the two films. Sharpay goes to her super expensive club place holiday, and somehow all the cast end up going, and then they sing some songs, they get kicked out of a talent contest, they get put back in the talent contest, they all learn some valuable lessons. Sharpay sings Humuhumunukunukuapua'a. Cut to credits.
Okay, so you got some of the chronological timing of that wrong.
Well, yeah, but it's not important.
Well, it is.
Go on, Liam. You do your quick rendition of what High School Musical 2 is.
Alright, so it starts off with them all waiting for summer to begin. And then we have the song, What Time Is It? It's bloody summertime, isn't it? You were right. Sharpay goes off to her club. You kind of oh, somehow everyone else ends up there. It's because she was trying to be sneaky and get Troy working there. And she was like, whatever it takes, get Troy Bolton at my summer club, because she wants to steal him away from Gabriella, obviously. Troy was like, well, I'm only going to do this if my teammates can come and also have jobs there. And since Sharpay had said, do whatever it takes, Fulton, who was the guy that was kind of running the show at the club, he was like, oh, well, whatever it takes. So yeah, sure, all the Wildcats come along. Boom. That's how they all get there. It's explained in the film. What happens...
Yeah, okay. Wait, what about everyone else, though?
What do you mean about everyone else?
Because it isn't just the team. I know that he makes a point of he's like, the team's going to work together, but a lot of other people go.
Yeah, well, I guess he wanted all his friends there.
Okay.
Then, basically, I'm going to real condense what happens here.
Oh, sorry, Jesus. I'm so sorry, guys. Spoilers. There are going to be spoilers about High School Musical 2.
Yeah, because I'm about to give one, and I'm about to drop
I
a
thought
fucking
so.
clanger.
Phew.
Troy Bolton becomes a fucking dick, doesn't he?
Yeah, it is a weird character development that happens in this film.
It's so it's just frustrating to watch it because I love him so much, but he is an absolute dickhead, and it's indefensible. I think partly his dad puts a bit too much pressure on him, and his dad kind of gives him the advice of, your team are here for now, but you've got a future that you have to think about because it's your future, and it kind of just slightly shifts his mind onto the wrong track of like dicking over his team a little bit, not necessarily like actively, but passively.
I think part of the problem is the character. So like the coach character, the dad/coach, changes from the first one to the second one and stays this way for the next 2 films. But a lot of what happens is he gives young Zac Efron. I refuse to call him Troy. Zac.
Okay. Yeah.
He gives Zac some help. He's like, I'm going to be helpful because this is my son. I want my son to do well in life.
Yeah.
So he gives him advice, and then the running theme of High School Musical is Troy Bolton / Zac Efron just sort of misunderstanding that advice. Because like saying, your team are here now, you've got to look at your future. That's not him saying just fucking abandon your friends.
No.
Do well. It's him being like, don't forget that you've got a future. So you've got to do some of this stuff. He's not saying completely abandon them, but then Troy just misunderstands and then's like, oh, I'm so sad, I'm going to angry dance.
Yeah, well, only thing's bet on it, which is brilliant, is one of the highlights. Absolutely. You've got angry dancing, angry singing. He sings to this weird, like, CG reflection in some water of himself.
Yeah, that's such a weird
It's
choice
brilliant.
for him to do.
Oh, it's one of the best songs. Anyway, he basically figures out that he shouldn't be such a dick, and everyone forgives him. Gabriella's a bit pissy about it all, but everything works out in the end, and they all sing at the talent show, and they've all learnt some valuable lessons that they promptly forget in time for the 3rd movie.
So I've got a couple of things that I'd like to sort of pose to you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that was a brief synopsis. Now we're going to dig in.
So I genuinely, this is something I've genuinely considered.
Yeah.
Sort of most of today, I suddenly thought about it, and I was like, this is a bit weird. The way High School Musical was made, right? Mm-hmm. Was it originally made to be a one-off?
I assume so, yeah.
Because they pick such a weird year to start it in. The second to last year of high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, so effectively, do you think, because this is how it feels to me, is that they made that first one, it did well, and they went, oh shit, we need to make a trilogy. And then they all went, yep, trilogy sounds good. And then someone went, we've only got 1 more year of high school left.
Yeah, I don't know if they necessarily immediately went in being like, oh, let's do a trilogy. I think for this film to be made, someone had to say it's a trilogy. Because if you are doing the sequel to High School Musical, the obvious choice is the next year of high school, right? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, because one of my gripes about this film is that it doesn't really take place in high school.
Yeah. It's not a High School Musical, this one. It's a summer vacation musical.
Yeah, you have, like, the opening number takes place in high school, but it's all about, school's out, let's scream and shout.
Yeah.
And then the rest is just their summer vacay.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing.
It is. But it also does start like ratcheting up the kind of seriousness, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you do start getting those conversations, right? Future, college, are these relationships going to last beyond high school? Those sorts of things start playing around in the characters' heads, which are mostly overlooked in the first High School Musical.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I kind of like it for that, but yeah, personally, this is my least favourite of the trilogy.
I think that is fair to say.
And here's what baffles me: I deliberately wanted to give it another go because I know the Zac Attack guys who have been on. This is their favourite of the trilogy, and I don't know why.
Is it possible that Humuhumunukunukuapua'a is such a good song that it redeems the entire film?
I mean, I think we can see why that song was cut when they initially broadcast this on the Disney Channel.
I can't, because it is the best thing in this film.
Do you want to explain why it's so good?
It's just amazing.
Doesn't really explain it though, does it?
I don't know if there's a reason. It's just the best song that High School Musical has ever done.
I mean, I disagree entirely. I think I Don't Dance, which is also from this film, is the best one that High School Musical have done.
Humuhumunukunukuapua'a is Sharpay's attempt to create a culturally relevant Hawaiian song in her summer holiday talent show.
Yeah, basically foreshadows Moana.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of being a good cultural representation of Hawaiian, mythological beliefs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just sort of offensive.
Is it?
I think so. Because instead of, using any Hawaiian actors or like some Moana's all, I get it. It's a summer vacation. They're not, it's not problematic. But she is a very white girl with blonde hair singing about being a Hawaiian princess.
Oh, but she's also the villain.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I remember when we started watching it, you were like, oh yeah, I watched a YouTube video that kind of explained that Sharpay wasn't that villainous. And I'd also seen that YouTube video. But rewatching this trilogy, she really is.
She is in number 2.
Yeah, and number 1.
I think in number 1, there are arguments that she's not as mean as everyone thinks. I think she's still the villain.
Yeah, but number 2, really, she's bad.
Number 2, she is just being a dick.
Yeah.
To the point where her own brother is like, I'm going to go hang out with our high school friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And play baseball.
And that's when you get I Don't Dance, which is odd, right? Because that song doesn't even feature Zac Efron, who is my favourite person on this planet. Sorry, Kat.
I think she already knows that.
Yeah. My 30th birthday celebration wasn't a day in her honour, was it? Let's be honest.
No, you didn't have a cat-themed birthday party.
Nah. And yeah, even though Zac Efron isn't in the song is an absolute banger. It really is.
Yeah, no, that is fair. It is a good song.
Yeah, it's all about... So you've got Chad, who is Troy's best friend and is a terrible best friend, if we're going to be real honest.
He's a shit best friend. A lot of the people in these films are shit.
Yeah, but Zac Efron isn't.
Troy's shit in this one.
He is in this one, but in the whole trilogy, he's a good guy. But yeah, so you got Chad, who's the best friend, and he's a dick. But basically, he doesn't want to dance. He doesn't want to dance in a talent show. And then
How
Ryan,
can he be part of a talent show if he doesn't dance?
Yeah, Ryan's like, look, mate, if you can play baseball, you can dance. And they have a whole song about it. And the best thing about that song is you've got Chad singing and dancing, and the lyrics are "I don't dance," but he's dancing as he's singing that. It's amazing. Doesn't make any sense. It's brilliant.
No, yeah, it's factually incorrect.
Yeah, he's a pretty good dancer.
Yeah, and also like I feel like if you can play baseball, you might not necessarily be able to dance, and I don't think baseball players should feel bad if they can't dance.
No, but I think Ryan does make a good point where he says, if you can do this, then if I can do this, then you can do that. I mean, you can't argue with that logic.
That's not a fair analogy, though. And also, they make a joke of that, where later on, Chad's like, have you really never played baseball before? And then Ryan's like, no, I have.
Oh, yeah, he's really good at it.
Yeah, he was like, I played in, like, Little League.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, so when
I think the point of that song wasn't so much like, look, if you can play baseball, you can dance, but it's more believe in yourself.
That's sort of the running theme of the entirety of High School Musical, except for Humuhumunukunukuapua'a.
Which is believe in this weird fish god.
Yeah, worship the fish god.
Honestly, that song is just so terrible, and I don't know why it's your favourite.
It's honestly my favourite. I love it.
But I don't know why.
It's so good.
There are some really good songs. Like we obviously Bet on It, which we've already discussed.
Yeah.
So that's when Zac Efron's character, Troy Bolton, realises that he's being a dick, and he's like, right, I've got to turn this around. Like, my girlfriend doesn't like me. She's just broken up with me. My friends aren't talking to me.
Sort of. She's sort of broken up with him.
Yeah, it's questionable.
They're not very clear on what they're doing, those two.
No.
She's like, I'm going to leave. And he's like, okay, like, leave?
So,
and she's like, yeah, leave? And he's like, oh, but
then
leave?
They sing.
Then they have a little sing.
But the thing is, in each of the 3 movies, Gabriella has a kind of a her-centric song, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the only one that has, like, someone else kind of gets involved with the singing part. But it's the best one of her, like, main songs.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's singing about how she's got to go her own way. And then Troy's like, but what about us? What about everything we've been through? And he makes a compelling argument.
And she's like, well, you are sort of abandoning me to go and hang out with weird college kids that want you to play basketball.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's a closed practice. I don't think they roll that way. Oh, that was the douchiest move, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But equally, like, I get it.
Oh yeah, because you dropped me in a moment. If a cool podcaster came along and was like, hey, I want you to host a podcast with me. And I was like, what do they want? Do they want both of us? If someone was like, oh yeah, I want the Nerd on Nerd to guest.
Yeah.
They'd ask you, and then I'd be like, oh, am I guesting as well? And you'd be like, nah, you're not.
Yeah, it's like what happened with the Zack Attack guys.
And Amanda, and everyone else that guessed you on.
I think those are the only 2, aren't they?
No, I feel like it's hundreds.
No, because Atlantic Swing Connection got us both on for some reason.
Because we're good. We're a team.
Well, you know.
You're the Chad to my Troy.
I think out of the two of us, I'm the Troy.
I think we're more of a Sharpay and Ryan, and I think you're Sharpay, and I don't think you could argue that. I'm the Ryan to your Sharpay.
Yeah, that does make some sort of weird sense.
It does. It does, and it's sad, because I realised that, and I was like, shit.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah. Anyway, that's fine, though, because I am Fabulous.
That's a good song. I like Fabulous.
Fabulous is a good song. So, here's the thing. Narratively, I think High School Musical 2 is the weakest of the trilogy, but musically, I think it might be the strongest.
It does have some really good songs.
3 is also up there, but...
See, that's what I mean. I think that's why I ranked 1 as my least favourite, because 1 has a couple of good songs.
Yeah.
But when I'm watching High School Musical, I'm not in it for the narrative, because I'm not like you. I don't care about coming of age and high school kids.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it is the music that's the important thing.
Okay, yeah. So
maybe
I
that's
can see
why
why
my
one would be your
rankings
least
are flipped.
favourite. Yeah. So where does 2 rank for you out of the trilogy?
I think it sits in the middle.
So 1's the worst, then 2, then 3?
I think so.
Okay. But yeah, narratively 2's the worst. Musically, though, it's a close call between that and 3, but I think 2 might just about pip it, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Humuhumunukunukuapua'a might push it just over the
I mean,
edge.
that is probably the worst song in the trilogy. Well, actually,
I hope you realise I'm
that's
just
not
saying
fair.
the name so much so that I can call the episode Humuhumunukunukuapua'a.
That's fine. It's not the worst. I think the worst song in the trilogy is probably Gabriella's solo in the first one.
Yeah.
I think that might be... It's so forgettable.
There's a few songs that I heard on this second watch through of all 3 films that I was like, even having listened to the soundtracks a couple of times, I don't know this song. And I think it's because I can't remember which ones they are, is how forgettable they are.
It's a shame that you can't remember them, because that would make life easier.
Yeah, I know. But that's all I'm saying is there are definitely some low points in these
But
films.
I don't
song-wise.
think you remembered the start of Something New, did you?
I don't really remember it now.
It's the very first song in the whole trilogy.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, that's not very good.
I like it.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
You like all these films.
Yep. Oh, so the Gabriella one in the first film is When There Was Me and You, which is just, I think that might be the worst.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, right, songs that you've got in High School Musical 2, I'm going to read them out, and I want you to, 1, tell me if you remember it, and 2, tell me how much of a banger you think it is.
Okay.
Alright? So you've got Work This Out.
Wait, are you ranking them in order or just...
No, I'm just reading them out as they're listed in IMDb. And
Really?
you're telling me if you remember it and how much of a banger you think it is.
Work It Out, I remember.
Yeah.
It's a average banger.
Okay. I Don't Dance.
Remember it. It's a good banger.
Gotta Go My Own Way.
I remember the song.
Yeah.
I don't super remember how it goes. I'm going to say it's not a very good banger.
Bet on it.
Bet on it. Remember it. It's a banger.
Here's one that I don't know if you remember. Every Day.
Don't remember.
It's like, not the very, very last song, but it's right towards the end. I think it's the one they sing at the talent show. I think. I know.
Of course you know. Don't lie. Yeah, I don't remember it.
Okay. What Time Is It?
Remember it. Banger.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. Remember it. It's one of the best bangers.
You Are the Music in Me.
Oh god, I do remember it. Ugh.
What?
Average.
I mean, they kind of do a couple of different versions of it.
Does Sharpay do a version?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the film they make a point of how Sharpay's version is bad, Gabriella and Troy's version is good. I disagree. I think Sharpay's version is better, Gabriella and Troy's is too slow.
But can you see why they think Sharpay's version is bad?
She makes it very, like, poppy and...
Very show-offy and...
They're high school kids doing talent shows. It's got to be fabulous.
Okay.
See what I did there, Liam? Liam, do you see what I did there?
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Thank you.
What about All for One?
I don't remember it.
It's the very last song.
I don't remember it.
If I could sing, I would perform it to help jog your memory, but I can't, and our listeners don't need to hear me trying to sing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Especially a High School Musical song.
That's fair.
It's the one where, if you watch closely, there's a little Miley Cyrus cameo.
I remember it happening. I can't
Yeah.
remember how the song goes. So.
Okay. And then we've got Humuhumunukunukuapua'a, whatever it is.
Humuhumunukunukuapua'a. Remember it. Best song of the film. And the trilogy.
Wait, Humuhumunukunukuapua'a.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very good, Liam.
Thank you. It's the worst.
Best song in this
It's the
trilogy.
worst.
Hand down.
There's a bit where she gargles water and pretends she's speaking fish.
Yeah.
In the song.
She says, This is fish. I'm speaking fish.
Yep.
So good.
Right, whatever.
Ryan forgets to bring the waves in, Liam. Silly Ryan.
Yeah, I know. It's the other thing that I think becomes real obvious as we watch this trilogy for a second time. I mean, for me, I don't even know what number watch this is, but together, us watching it for a second time, we discovered that Troy Bolton is the master of stealth.
Yeah.
And
he's Solid Snakes a lot.
Yeah, and Humuhumunukunukuapua'a, whatever.
Apua'a.
Has some of his best stealthing, I think.
Yeah, he disappears mid-song, sort of like right at the end of the song, he vanishes.
He hides behind a chair.
Yeah, they're like, where's he gone? And they'll go to look for him, and he just stands up from behind the chair.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's so good. There's a number of times where Troy, like, hides behind a pillar, and then you cut to the person that's trying to find him, and they, like, turn around the pillar, Troy's gone, and then he walks behind them, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, but then you've also got, I think... See, I'm a little bit concerned, right, that maybe Sharpay has this, like, retinitis pigmentosa.
Okay, yeah, you think so?
Because you've got the first High School Musical, right, where she overhears Gabriella singing in the bathroom. She goes to look for her, turns around and walks out, and then Gabriella just pokes her head out from, like, a wall that when Sharpay would have turned around, she would have seen.
Yeah, she's not in a cubicle, listeners. There is a tiny little, like, sticky out bit of wall that Sharpay walks past, turns round so that area would have been in sight, and walks back out.
It would have been in sight unless she had severe tunnel vision.
Exactly.
So
I like this theory, Liam. I'm sort of on board with you.
And that could also go a long way to helping make her a little bit more sympathetic, maybe.
Yeah, she's not a dick. She just she can't see anything.
Yeah, that's why all of her songs have so many light shows in them.
Yeah, she's like, I just need to be able to see the stage, everyone.
Yeah.
Stop doing slow, dark songs.
Yeah, a single spotlight's no good for me.
I need to see everything.
So yeah, I don't know what more there is to say about this movie. It's just so good, despite being the worst of the trilogy.
Okay, so genuinely, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the film where a problem in the High School Musical franchise. This is the first film that you can see it in.
Okay.
And it carries on. It's a problem that 1, 2, and 3 have. Well, technically only 2 and 3, because High School Musical, what it does is and you agreed with me on this on the night. It's in every film they make a lot of progress at the end. Like, you'll have a moment like the end of the first one and the start of the second one. You have scenes where Gabriella and Sharpay sort of patch things up and are like, hey, like at the start of this one, Gabriella's like, thanks for helping last year and giving me all that singing advice, and Sharpay's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then to get to the point of conflict, every film abandons everything anyone has learned in the previous films.
Yeah.
Like, in film 1, Chad is so anti the dancing and singing. He's like, why would anyone do that? But then he gets into the musical. He's like, oh, Troy's actually good at this. Like, I get it. And then in the second one, he's like, why are you focusing so much on singing, Troy? And you're like, Chad, you've done this. We know. Get over it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's not a problem. It's just an issue that becomes noticeable, especially when you're watching them back to back.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be fair here, Liam.
No, I agree. I can't disagree with that. Like, it is. They do kind of wipe the slate clean for each film, and they're like, let's just ignore all the lessons we've learned. Yeah. And it's most obvious with Sharpay and Ryan, I think.
Yes, I mean, Ryan goes so far backwards each film.
Yeah, like in 2, he makes a lot of progress. He's good friends with the Wildcats, but then by the time 3 starts, he's back to,
Sharpay's minion.
Yeah, which is like you on this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a valid criticism. The only thing I would say to counter that is the movies are so much fun, no one really cares.
They are, but I'm just... I know that you love them so much that you'll find it hard to say anything negative. So I feel like I have to...
No, I mean, like I said, this is my least favourite of the trilogy, so I think that's a pretty negative thing to say.
Yeah, but you also love it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not... When you say it's the least favourite of the trilogy, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I mean, I find this, like, entertaining. And I will say, as a movie and everything, even as a High School Musical movie where I have a bit of bias to it, I still find it average, but it's like entertainingly average.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do think I enjoyed it more when I was drunk the first time.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
I mean, I'm so looking forward to next year Or 2
Well,
years or whatever.
it might be 2 years, yeah. Or it might be when I turn 40, who knows?
Well, it's not like 10 years to do it.
Okay.
But yeah.
So do you want to share with the listeners our plan?
So we've done... The logic here is we've done the first year that we did High School Musical. We watched all 3. We didn't get crazy drunk for the first or second.
No, that's a lie.
We were drunk.
Yeah, but we were crazy drunk by the end of the second.
Okay, that's fair. We had to rewatch 3 the next day because we didn't make it.
Yeah, we fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then this time we watched them and didn't get crazy drunk. Like I drunk a lot in number 3, but I slowed down and still understood what was going on.
Yeah.
What we're thinking of doing for the third time we watch High School Musical, so reviewing High School Musical 3, is we will play the drinking game, or a drinking game, for each film. The High School Musical drinking games are brutal. They make you drink so much alcohol.
Yeah.
So we're just going to see...
We're going to maybe make our own kind of version that will apply to each film in the whole trilogy.
Yeah. We need to, when we get to it, I think we need to make a call on what we're going to do. But that's the idea, is we'll do a drinking game through all 3 films in a marathon and just try to survive.
And if any listeners want to throw in suggestions of when we should drink, our emails and tweets are open.
Yeah, we will make a list.
Yeah. Like, we maybe won't do any if it's ridiculous, like drink every time you're having fun. I mean, fuck it. I'd be dead.
Liam would die. He'd be non-stop drinking.
I mean, you might be alright with that one, but...
We'd get to Humuhumunukunukuapua'a and I would just down my drink.
Yeah, exactly. But, if you want to send in like realistic suggestions, go ahead. We had some correspondence on High School Musical too.
Yeah?
Well, I started reading it out earlier, didn't I? And then got confused.
You did. Read me the correspondences.
Alright, so Fiona Underhill on Twitter tweeted saying, the best of the trilogy by far, a cinematic masterpiece. Bet on it is the best thing I've seen with my eyes or heard with my ears. I Don't Dance is also immense in every way. And this is what I mean. Number 2 does seem to have a lot of love.
Well, I just want to check, because I feel like Fiona might have watched the edited version that doesn't have Humuhumunukunukuapua'a in it.
Oh, it's impossible to tell.
Yeah, so I think it's probably fair to say that she would have preferred that song if she had seen it. I'm just throwing that in there. But yeah, other than that, I sort of agree. It's not the best of the... I think she's wrong about it being the best of the trilogy.
Yeah.
But it is good.
Yeah. That's on the record now.
For a High School Musical film. Good for
Well, no. You that caveat is a bit too late, I think.
Okay, well, we'll see in the editing.
Will Powell tweeted saying High School Musical 2 has the best songs hands down. I'd go as far to say as that I enjoy the storyline of the second film more as well. Maybe an unpopular decision, but I stand by it. And I was just like, oh, that is a controversial opinion. And he responded, can't help it, it's the way I feel, damn it. And then I kind of made some good points, like they spend hardly any time in actual high school and Zac becomes a bit of a dick. And then just tweets got weird.
Yeah, that's when more GIFs started happening.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do GIFs for High School Musical.
Yeah, I know. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Any more correspondences?
We had an email.
Who from?
Kat.
Kat.
She
the
said,
liar. She says she hates Humuhumunukunukuapua'a.
She said, here are my thoughts on High School Musical 2. First, it's not really a High School Musical because they aren't at school.
Fair.
She said, I'm glad I finally saw the moment that makes up one of my all-time favourite gifs, which is Zac Efron and pizza, which we also mentioned earlier.
Yep, fair.
I enjoyed seeing Miley Cyrus's cameo, but made me wish she'd been a part of the story, but I don't know why. Also, we were at our favourite Chinese place last night, Beijing Palace, and I don't know how I have this knowledge in my head, but I kind of just laid out for Kat a brief overview of what Hannah Montana is all about. I've never seen a single episode of Hannah Montana. I've never seen the movie. I don't know how I know.
I think I could do that as well, and I've never watched it.
Yeah, because Kat was like, what is it about? And I was like, well, basically, Miley Cyrus plays someone who has this like alter ego that's a pop idol, and she tries to keep that secret from everyone.
Yeah.
How do I know that?
Yeah, I don't know, because I know it too, and I don't know why.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with these sort of Disney things. They do quite like insidiously creep into your subconscious.
Yeah, Disney are good at that.
She also said, Gotta Go My Own Way is not a terrible song. That was a nice surprise. And then the Humuhumunukunukuapua'a song scene is the stuff of nightmare.
I just think it's sad that Kat feels she has to hurt me with lies.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's a lie necessarily.
I think it is, though, is the thing.
I think it could just be that you're damaged by finding that song the best when it clearly isn't.
I mean, obviously damaged, yeah. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
This song is the best, though, is the thing. She wants to give the fish prince a kiss.
And she wants... Right, this is the most ludicrous part of that, is she wants Zac Efron to play the fish prince.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Because he'll be a fish prince.
Doesn't look like a fish.
And then he turns into a handsome prince, and he sings Humuhumunukunukuapua'a.
There's more. Come on, carry on.
I can't remember it.
You need to listen to it more then.
Yeah.
I have another huge grievance that isn't so much about the movie, but it's about the Blu-ray.
Okay, I think I know what you're going to say, but go on.
Yeah, 1 and 2 both have sing-along... No, sorry, 1 and 3 both have sing-along versions on the Blu-ray.
Yep.
2, for some reason, you can watch just the songs with the lyrics coming up, but you can't actually watch the whole movie with the lyrics coming up for the songs.
Yeah, and it is
What
weird.
the hell is that all about?
Yeah, it seems like a weird choice for them to have done, considering they did it with number 1 and number 3.
Yeah, like, someone at Disney needs to explain that to me right now.
Maybe they don't know. Imagine that if this was this is how they found out. They were like, but we added it, right?
Well, what I would suggest is they do a 4K release.
Which has the sing-along.
Yeah. Also, preferably, like, I have... so I have them on DVD, and I now have them on Blu-ray as well. And the DVD set I've got comes with, like, a little locker and a key. And that's getting quite battered and a bit, like, it's a bit worn. So if they could do a nice new version of that, I'd buy it.
Of course you would.
Yeah. What we
How many
haven't
versions of
watched-
High School Musical do you own?
2 now for each
Okay.
film. Twice.
Yeah.
But I also have, and we haven't watched this yet, maybe we should one day, I've got the live concert on DVD as well.
I don't want to see that.
It doesn't have Zac Efron in it.
Did you say doesn't?
Doesn't, no.
I don't want to watch it then.
No, I know. I've watched it once and was like, well...
Who does it have in it?
I don't remember.
Is it any of the cast?
Oh, it definitely has, I think all of the rest of the cast are in it. It's just Zac
Not
Efron
Zac.
is missing. But I wonder, because it was of the first one, and obviously, as we all know, his singing was dubbed in that one. So maybe they got the actual singer to do this.
But then we saw that extra where he was singing.
Yeah, I think he was partially dubbed. He sang some of it, but
Okay.
not all of it.
That makes sense. I can get behind that.
Anyway, I had a wonderful day watching all of the Zac Efron musicals.
I had an alright day.
I don't know how we're going to top that for when we do High School Musical 3.
The drinking.
That's not going to make it better.
It's going to make it hilarious.
I don't know if it is.
It is.
Maybe.
We should do the drinking game, Liam, and we should also do the dances.
I've got an idea, but it's controversial.
Go on.
What if we do like a special live stream of it?
Yeah, I think we should try live streaming us
Yeah.
drinking along to High School Musical.
Maybe to make it special, it'll be our first ever like live episode or something.
Well, let's say that. Not fucking 2 years away or whatever. I'm not locking into that.
Well, no, I don't mean like a live episode like where we like rent out a hall and invite people to it. I mean like we stream the episode live.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm not going to say that's going to be our first one in case we have a better one that we want to do and you start being like, well, we agreed High School Musical would be first and you know how I am with the listeners. If I make them a promise, I can't break it. Meh, meh, meh.
Yeah, and then you come along, you make me break it, you swing your tits
Exactly.
around,
So
and
don't
suddenly...
make this promise because I'm going to make you break it.
Well, don't make me break my promises.
Don't make this promise. What do you rate High School Musical 2, Liam?
We're at an impasse. I rate High School Musical 2 I think you'll be surprised by this, a 3 out of 5.
That does surprise me.
Alright,
But
here's the thing.
Is that a 3 out of 5 compared to all films, or is that a 3 out of 5 in the High School Musical franchise?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Because, right, so, the first High School Musical is a solid 4 out of 5. I love it, right?
Yeah.
High School Musical 3 is a high 3.5 out of 5. High School Musical 3, I think, is a high 3 out of 5. No, High School Musical 2 is a high 3 out of 5.
Yeah, did you say High School Musical 5?
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Oh, I'm so sleepy.
I've said too many numbers and the words High School Musical too many times.
It's all just merging together.
I would love them to do a reunion though.
He just won't though, will he? Because he hates it.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough money in the world to get him back. Unless I know he's still friends with the cast, so unless they could somehow convince him.
You know too much about Zac Efron.
Whatever. What would you give it?
I give it probably a 3 out of 5.
So you enjoyed it then?
Yeah, it's got Humuhumunukunukuapua'a in it.
Yeah, of course.
How can I not? That's true. If it was the edited version, it genuinely would drop down to like a 2.5.
Okay, so that one song really does save a lot.
Honestly,
of it
yeah, I love this song.
Okay, well, that's fair enough, I guess. I don't know if there's anything else for us to really say about High School Musical 2.
I don't think there is.
So next time,
we are doing, Liam.
Yep.
We're coming away from the world of teenage High School Musicals.
Oh, but it's my favourite.
And we're going into the world of slaying giant monsters and doing Monster Hunter World.
So, full disclosure, we've already started playing it.
And we've been playing it for 2 weeks now?
Yeah, because we're trying to put enough time into it that we can give you like a good culture swap on it.
Yeah, I think the thing with games is they need more time invested in them than any other culture swap we do.
Yeah, like comics, we can sneeze those out quite quickly.
Yeah, films, pretty easy. TV shows, with our rule that we had, which we might still have, but we're not sure anymore.
I think we ditched that rule.
I think we did. So now TV shows are probably the second longest thing to do.
Yeah, but games are definitely and it's why I think it's why we do a lot of comics and TV shows, and then less, like a lot of comics and films, and then less TV shows, and then even less games.
Exactly, yeah.
Because, we're both busy people. We've got lives to live. It only kind of coincides that currently our lives are being spent playing a lot of Monster Hunter World.
So we thought, fuck it, let's do a culture swap on it.
Makes sense, don't it?
Exactly. Look forward to that, listeners. If you've got any thoughts on Monster Hunter World, if you've played it, or if you've even played some of the old games, and you're like, I love the old ones, I don't want to try the new one, tell us why.
We're listening.
Where can they tell us that, Liam?
Twitter.
How would they do that, though? Because I just go on Twitter and I just tweet. I just go, oh, hey, guys. No one's going to see that, Liam.
You tweet us at Nerd on Nerd.
Ah, got you. Okay.
What if you don't have Twitter, though?
You could send us mail.
An email?
No, real mail.
Okay, what's your address?
I don't have one.
I didn't. Right, I'm sorry. I think you becoming homeless is worth catching up. It's a very big topic.
I'm on the streets.
Yeah.
No, you could email us at nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's for if you need more than the character limit of Twitter.
Yeah, Facebook as well. We check that.
Facebook.com/nerdonnerd
Pod.
Yep.
I'm sure it is.
Yep, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to particularly get in contact with us, but you want to do something helpful for us, you could rate us on iTunes.
Yeah, help out the show.
We'll read out your messages, but I'd advise not to if you're going to review us on iTunes, maybe don't make the review I really like Monster Hunter World 5 stars, because that's going to confuse people.
That's very true.
It's just it would be a weird thing to see, I think.
Yeah. We've had no new reviews since the last, I don't know, since September.
Don't worry about it.
Since September 2017.
Okay, well that's a shame. Anyway,
Yep.
I think that's it. That's all the ways you can get in contact with us.
They've got YouTube.
Oh my god, yeah, sorry. The YouTube's back, everyone. If you missed last week's episode, YouTube is back.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a little rundown, Liam, of what you're doing?
No.
Okay, cool. Go on the YouTube. It's back.
It's at the moment, we're kind of wistfully looking back at our early days. Look, it's not ideal. Deal with it. We'll catch up in a year or so.
Jesus. Any final thoughts, Liam?
Yeah. I had the best day of my life.
That's so depressing.
Bye.
Bye.